What up, ET Squad? It's your boy Phoenix.
And your girl Majesty Moore.
And we're back with another video. Today on Straight Up Conversations, we are going to be talking about business. So we have a special guest with us today. This is a family friend. We've known Porsha forever. Like we was kids. So why don't you tell us a little more about Porsha?
Yes, Porsha is a childhood friend, y'all. Literally, that's kids. Kids running around in Pflugerville doing extraness, whatever. But Porsha is also an entrepreneur, y'all. Y'all have, by the end of this video, I need all y'all to get and go follow her on every sense of social media she has and support. She's been a teacher for over 6 years, and she also has a little boy. So I feel like her business and what she's come up with has been beneficial to her son and for her son as well. Porsha, why don't you just give us a little, I guess, a big picture of everything you got going on?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Like they said, my name is Porsha Hodge. I am the owner and creator of the l.i.t.kids book box, which stands for Learning to Inspire and Teach Your Kids, which derived from my motivation to want to provide more books of color to families and educators and just kids in general. That's my dog. So with the l.i.t.kids book box, we provide books of color to children currently ages 0 to 8. And in the book box, it comes with 2 to 3 books of color along with an educational activity and a fun gift like slime and bubbles and things like that. But the biggest piece is the books of color, which is what motivated me to start the business, because I found that me becoming a new mother and looking for books that my son could connect to, there was a lack of representation. So I did my own research in finding more books that would represent him, represent his family, where he comes from, in the community that he comes from. And so with that, I later began to write my own book, which will be coming out soon. And l.i.t.kids was a branding and marketing idea for when I launched my book, but it has flourished into so much more than that, and has now become the l.i.t.kids book box, where people can subscribe to build their at-home libraries and develop their kids' joy for reading. So that's the l.i.t.kids book box.
That's dope.
Hashtag that's lit. Oh.
The first question that I want to ask is, how long have you been in business?
It is funny. Last year, at the end of last year, I told myself I was not going to let fear be a barrier for me anymore, because a lot of people, well, not a lot, but close friends and family know that I've been working between my first children's book and this branding, this business for over 2 years. And I just launched it. So I had been researching books in different bookstores for a long time. And then just in the process of writing my own book. And so in the process of that, I also started like drawing illustrations for shirts and things like that. And so I held on to all of this stuff for like 2 years. And then I eventually said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and start, putting my business together, get my logo, start creating my website and all of that. And so in July of 2019, July 18th to be exact, which is coming up, I filed my LLC for my business. And in February of 2020, February 29th, I officially launched the l.i.t.kids book box. And so as of now, it's been in business for 4 months. And so, it was a process. Fear really had me holding back on my potential and my purpose. But so it started a while ago, but it became official July 18, 2019, and even more official on the 29th of February when it was available for people to purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
I actually like it because the one thing that stands out about your story is that the determination and the perseverance that you went through, because it's like, you know, holding on to an idea for 2 years, even if you were in business for 2 years. We actually had a conversation with somebody else, and we were talking about the time span of like when you first have the idea to when you first start making money. And sometimes that could be several years, and people give up during that time period. And it's like amazing that you actually like stuck through it.
Yeah.
And
follow through.
Yeah, it definitely took some time. Like building your own website is no joke. Yeah. So that took a lot of time. I started that maybe like a year ago. And that took a lot of time, and I'm still not completely satisfied with it because I want stuff scrolling and popping out you know, so we're going to get there. Right. But, you know, everything was a process and still is a process, because in business, you're learning every day. You're getting new gems from different people as you're connecting and partnering with people. So I'm growing and learning every day with my business. The one thing that I did learn is like partnership, visibility, and just surrounding yourself with people with the same mindset that you can grow from and learn from is key to you being a great entrepreneur and growing your brand and business overall.
Legit.
Yeah, that's dope.
So how did you come up with, like, not just l.i.t.kids, but like how did you come up with like the actual, I guess like the logo? Like how did you choose the light bulb to be like, okay, yeah, that's the one? Or like how did you come up with all of that?
Well, the light bulb itself came from the word lit. And when people think about that initially, like, oh, it's lit, let's get lit. No, we're not getting the kids lit. It's not the type of lit. Like the light bulb lit, you have an idea, you know, you're gaining knowledge from a lit light bulb is what I initially thought. And so, you know, I researched different, like I Googled lit and just looked at different images. And then I'm big on like trying to draw out things myself. If you notice in some of the shirts that I created, I drew it out myself and then I would send it to my friend to create digitally.
Okay.
So, and that stuff I did over 2 years, like I was drawing different things. So the logo was another thing that I drew out. And I had several, like when you're creating an idea or a business, it's not just one thing that you're honed in on. Like I created multiple different logos, kind of similar, kind of not. Like I had a book with a light bulb coming out of it, which is part of one of my logos, but I had several that I drew out. And so once I honed in on one or two, I sent it to my friend in Atlanta of Champion Dreams. It's a production company, and she does graphic design. She put it together digitally for me and sent it back. And then that's where I started to use that. But I got that like maybe almost a year ago. Like I was just holding on to all of this content that I was prepping to actually use for my business. But I just drew it out and sent it to my friend Danielle, and she created it into what it needed to be, from like specific color schemes. Like I can't even remember the name of this yellow color of my light bulb, but everything is very specific to just my business. Yeah. And so she was able to bring that to light in addition to other things, like my Afro Puff shirt. I drew that out myself, and she just was able to transition it into a digital illustration, put it on a shirt or whatever. So yeah,
that's dope. That's actually one of the things that I feel like we're very good at is brainstorming. And it's like, you have an idea, you just got to get that idea out, whether it's a whiteboard or a piece of paper, whatever the case is. It's like we will brainstorm for hours on a particular idea just to hone in on what we're trying to figure out too. And I mean, that's how you get those ideas out. That's legit, you know, as a business owner, honestly. Well, I want to go into this next question and ask you, can you explain your business model as far as the box is concerned, and explain to us like some of the challenges that you went through when coming up with that particular business model?
Okay, so for the business model itself, it's a book box subscription service. So once again, this was like all a part of like branding and marketing for my book. So I wasn't thinking this was going to be a business. But what I did was, like I said, working with like-minded people, I asked my friend in Atlanta about like, what do I need to do to create a business? And she told me, you know, research your competitors if you have any competitors, and then see what they're doing and how you can stand out outside of what they're doing if you have any competitors. Now, there's several book box subscriptions. You know, you can get clothes subscriptions delivered to you monthly, food, hair care products, all kinds of stuff. But when it specifically comes to books of color, when I was researching 2 years ago, there was not a lot of books of color. Now I found 2, and out of those 2, one is still around, the other one I don't know. So I kind of used them as a prototype, because you learn from different people. Right. So I looked at what they were doing, and kind of from like the way they had their boxes to what they provided inside of their boxes, although I know I wanted to put my own customized, you know, look and feel to it. And so I had to research different box vendors, and then come up with like how I wanted my boxes to look. And then in my research over the 2 years with the books, I had to continuously do research on the books to see how it would fit, or if it would fit with the brand and what I was going for when it comes to teaching and inspiring kids. And then also looking into the different educational tools, because I am an educator. That came kind of easy because I already had resources. But just kind of seeing what my competitors were doing and how I could stand out from them, and what I could offer that would make me significantly different. But since then, I've noticed that there are more book box subscriptions for people of color and for Black kids, but they don't just offer books. Some of them offer like toys and all kinds of stuff. But I feel like mine is different because it's lit.
Right.
No, no, I'm playing. But yeah, you definitely want to research your competitors, not to compete, but to have, you know, some kind of, I guess, like prototype to go off of, especially if you're new to just being in business, period. Doesn't mean you're kind of trying to mock them or copy them. You're supposed to be learning from everybody. So that's how I came up with the concept of my book boxes. The hurdles that I've come across, is that what you said?
Yeah.
There's been several hurdles. I've been running a whole marathon.
Right.
I will say, like, posting and stuff is the easy part, but like fulfilling and producing what you're posting, like, this is what I'm providing, but you need to actually provide it. Like, you need to be able to fulfill what you're telling people that you're going to provide them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know within the first month, like the boxes that I researched and I ended up creating, they came in super small. So my books did not fit in the box. Well, at least for my 4 to 8 year olds, only the 0 to 3 books fit in the boxes. So for that first like couple of weeks after I launched, thank God family and friends supported me, and they was able to understand, because I had to hand deliver them they books with like the learning activities and stuff inside of the box, but the books, they just couldn't fit. But you can still have the box.
Right.
So that was something that I struggled with, because I did, pre-order the boxes, and I measured the books, but I'm always getting different books to put in the boxes. I didn't think that the size would, be a big issue, because I thought I had ordered the right size. Right. So that's one thing. And then also honestly staying consistent, because I did launch like in the center and the core of the quarantine, like when it started. So I have a business that I'm trying to launch. I'm still trying to figure out how to virtually teach at school with my students. And then with Mike, it was just a lot to try to take in. And so that was a struggle within itself. But also as a business owner, like being organized when it comes to having a business is key. Like it's very key. And also I know I'm big on like timing and the turnaround of orders, but with COVID, I mean, we couldn't That was another thing. Like I ordered new boxes, and the time frame was longer than normal because people were, either not in the factory or they had a limited amount of workers. And in addition to that, like I have author spotlight. So indie black authors were featured in my box the second month. And so with their publishing company, they also slowed down. So with me partnering with somebody, I had to wait on their books in order to fulfill my orders, even though I had, all of the other things that needed to be included. I still needed their books. And so with one of my authors, it took 21 days for their books to be printed and sent out. So that's something that I experienced, which was crazy. And honestly, some of my authors are still experiencing it now because COVID is still going on. And that's more so when I'm working with other authors. Like you have to also work within their time frame and what they have going on also. So I mean, it's ups and downs all the way around. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. In addition to your personal stuff you have going on too. So, but the easiest thing is posting and being visible. Like that's easy for me. It's just staying consistent with it.
I guess to piggyback off of that too, are there any things, because like you said, you talked about the different challenges and everything, but are there any things that frustrated you or that currently frustrates you as being a business owner or, a small business owner as well?
I don't think this answers the question, but I think it's relevant. Like, I don't know if y'all know about imposter syndrome, but it's basically when you think that people are expecting more out of you than how do you explain it? Damn, my phone died. But it's basically you having this huge expectation of what people expect from you, and it causes like anxiety within yourself because you're not fulfilling what your expectation is of what you feel other people are expecting out of you. And
well, I have that then.
That I dealt with, like, oh my God, I didn't post today, and I know people looking for my post, and I'm not posting today. I really got to post, and I don't really feel like posting. But if I don't post, they gonna think I'm not on my game, and they ain't gonna like just. You are overthinking stuff, and people probably aren't even worried about you not posting today because you posted yesterday.
Right.
Little stuff like that. Another frustrational thing is
ice cream sandwich.
An ice cream sandwich. You want an ice cream sandwich? At least he came in quiet.
He did. He was polite.
I knew he was gonna pop in. Yeah, my child.
That's perfect.
I knew he was coming. I was waiting for it.
That's funny.
Okay, so another frustrational thing. It just be in the moment because as of now, like I know with a lot of business owners, you're working from home. And for me, I'm working from home in my mom's home.
Okay.
So I don't have the space and the capacity to really do what I want to do as I am in my son's room, and Spider-Man is up here chilling with me. That's something that's frustrational. The shipping timeframes and stuff is very frustrational because it's out of your control. All you can do is wait. Like you can't do nothing else but wait. And so with that, that imposter syndrome comes in because you're like, people are expecting their boxes, at this time, 7 to 10 business days, and I haven't got this yet, and they're waiting. I don't know what to do, or I need to communicate with them. And you're just like all over the place because they know COVID is going on. But I know some people, I ordered my package last week. It should be here the next week, but that's not how it works.
Right.
And so I guess also just continuously being open with communication with the people who order with me, and just overall, because that's something that was definitely frustrating for me, is like the delay in different things, even with Amazon. And Prime is on time. They be right. Yeah. But they haven't been as right with COVID.
Hey.
Right.
But they're getting better since people are going back to work. So I say that's definitely frustrational as well. And personally for me, I'm developing myself, so I wish I was better with videography, so I can give y'all, fancy. Next month you have the I Am Me book box and all this stuff. I just don't have, I have not yet learned how to do that. I will and can learn. I just have not yet learned it. And then I use Wix, and they're frustrational. Like, they frustrate me. They cool, but they have a lot of limitations on what you can do with a website. And like I said, I want stuff popping at you and glowing and lighting up and giving you all this lit learning and,
Right.
So there's little stuff here and there. Definitely frustrational periods in business, period, because you have times you just don't want to do anything.
Right. Seriously.
So it just depends on the day and what's going on, in your personal life and in the world. And so, it just all depends.
Keep it moving,
Keep
it moving.
That's actually going into the next question that I was going to ask about how do you balance between business and life, and also just the fact of, like, you kind of started your business while you're still working. So just how did you deal with that?
I will say, because I started in February, right when quarantine really popped off, that was really challenging in a sense of, the challenging part of that was that I was getting frustrated and upset because I didn't have enough time to give to my business, because I still had to answer parent phone calls, record lessons, make sure my son was doing his lessons, and that was a lot. That was a lot to try to balance. And I'm always trying to figure out the best way to schedule and maintain all of the different things that I'm doing. Granted, I'm on summer break right now. It's easier, but I'm also in school. So I try to dedicate a few days to doing my business, although I work on it every day, but dedicating time to maybe do sponsorship letters or update my website or just little stuff here and there. I don't have a specific day. I ain't there yet on organizing like that. But whenever I wake up and it feels like a day to focus on the business, that's what I'm focusing on.
You do it.
That's horrible. I need to, I'm working on it.
Right.
Yeah.
But and then, with being in business too, as well as being in school, I feel like I'm not as present with my son, and so that really bothers me. So finding time to just spend with him, because he'll tell you, "Are you studying? Because you're always studying." Or, "Are you doing l.i.t.kids today? Because you haven't done anything fun with me." And I'm like, "Oh God, I'm sorry." And then, with the quarantine, we used to do something every weekend. So it's just like, now we really can't do anything, but we can go for a walk, play outside or whatever. So just figuring out how to balance that. And I'm still trying to figure it out, because when you're an entrepreneur, there's always something that you can do. There's always the opportunity to improve, always the opportunity to add on and do better, or make a new connection, or Nova out. Why do you keep busting in here? My dog is worse than my son. He just wants to be on the show.
Yes.
But yes, it's a lot to learn. I will say one thing that I am starting to do is to do a daily to-do list. I didn't do it today. I did it yesterday. It's work in progress.
Yes.
Consistency, but just outlining out a to-do list of things you got to do, because it feels so great to just do that line across something you've completed.
Yeah.
But I actually got some stuff from yesterday I need to still do today. It's a work in progress.
Hey.
That's
we work.
As long as we love.
Right, as long as you get to check it out. That's it.
The reality of it's real.
Right.
Yeah, that's the point that we want to try to give to people, is that even though you may want things to go a certain way, they're not going to always go the way that you want them to go, because you have time constraints, you have family, you have, work, you got school, whatever. And so being an entrepreneur, it can be difficult at times. And so we don't want everybody to think that you, when you become an entrepreneur, you just become a millionaire overnight. This lifestyle just...
It's not.
Yeah,
it's not. And I've heard people say it all the time, like, this ain't no joke. Like, you thinking about your business all the time, even when you're doing other stuff. Like, you're always thinking about your business. Yep. See, he worse than the kids. Y'all hear it?
He mad at you.
Cage, Nova. Cage. All right, Gigi gonna get them together. But yeah, you always thinking about what's next. I know when I first launched the business, in addition to still like teaching and stuff and, you know, being a mom, I would stay up to about 3, 4, sometimes 5 o'clock in the morning, like whether it was working on my business, more so it was working on the business, or doing something for work, like recording lessons, which I absolutely dreaded. But I was always up, and I feel bad because I didn't used to be on my phone as much, but because social media drives my business and drives my visibility and my following and my sales, I have to be on my phone.
Yeah.
And my son would be like, "Mommy, you always on your phone," and it just sounds horrible because it's not like I'm just scrolling on social media. Sometimes, not all the time. I'm posting and, you know, responding to messages and, you know, seeing who I can partner with and things like that. I say that to say, like, you're always consistently working on your business. Like, whether you're literally working on it or your brain is working on what's next. Like, so it's no joke.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
What are some accomplishments or achievements that you have gotten over and all of that?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I say I'm very blessed, like very blessed with the support from friends, family. Shout out to the people I don't know that just been supporting Lit Kids like they didn't know me for years. Like, it's the people that you don't know that support you way more than people that you expect and want to be there to support you. Like, and I saw it and I've said it before, but when you're in business, you really realize it. Like, you have to step outside of your network of family and friends and realize that there's so many other people that will support you and want to know about your business when your family's like this. Much of what all this is. So with that, like, people sharing my business, my post, I've been able to, within the first month, be featured on Spectrum News Austin, which was really awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. The girl, she found me a Black anchor because I post in a lot of the groups that I'm in. She found me on the Black Austin group, and she Facebook messaged me, and she was like, "Hey, you want to be featured in Spectrum Austin?" I was like, "Hell yeah, girl, what's up? Here's my number." And so she reached out and she did it at my cousin's house, and yeah, that was pretty cool. But I did realize with that, you have to let them know the story that you want to be told, because I knew it before, but media will tell whatever story they want and fit it into whatever kind of, you know, feature they want it to be. And I say that to say because they made my business seem like it was only for children of color, and it's not, because I want all children to be exposed to books of color. That's why we have so many people that can't, or that don't understand, well, not necessarily don't understand, but they can't connect to, or, you know, or are not exposed to Black characters in books because they're not used to seeing that. Or understanding that, you know, there's Black people that's presidents, you know, there's Black people that are, you know, just key leaders in the world, or fairies, or, you know, all of these different things. And so that connection and that representation is important, not just for Black kids, very important for Black kids, but it's important for other kids to understand that y'all not the only ones that can do that. You can do it too. So I did not like that they portrayed Lit Kids as just being for Black kids only. Although that's definitely who I want, you know, to have these books available to them, but it's for everyone. So we got Spectrum News, which was awesome. And then shortly after, I was featured in the Voyager Dallas, which is online, and I think it's also a tangible magazine that features a lot of different creatives and business people around nationwide, because they have the Voyager Atlanta and different things like that. So I was featured in that publication. And last month I did my I did a feature for East Side magazine. Which was also based off of a post. One of my friends from high school shared my post on a group, and in that group, the owners of the magazine saw it and they reached out to me.
That is so nice.
Visibility is so important. Like, visibility is so important because you don't know who's going to see that, who's going to connect to it or want to know more.
Right.
Yeah.
And then also, just like different social media pages and stuff has featured me, like Six Square. My alma mater, Clark Atlanta University, has featured me on their Instagram page. It's been a lot of different random features and stuff. It was another newspaper or something in Austin. I didn't even know I was featured. I was Googling just to see where my business had been in. I was like, oh, okay, thank you. Like, you didn't even get the information from our website and made your own, feature for me. I would like to know, but I appreciate it. So yeah, and then, with everybody being so big on supporting Black businesses, that's definitely helped a lot. A lot of people have shown a lot of love and support by sharing l.i.t.kids with a lot of different people. So yeah, it's been a great 3 months so far, and now we're into month 4. So that's my goal, is to is to put l.i.t.kids into more media outlets and become even more visible. Because like we have people from like worldwide going to our website to check it out. So I would just love for it to continue to be spread, because the key thing is to teach and inspire kids. So I don't want to just limit it to Texas or, what are we, Southeastern region? I don't know. I just, we need to expand and get these color to different homes in different places.
Yeah.
So.
And I have a sidebar question, and this is because, I'm just random. Anyway.
Go ahead, girl.
So my question is, so when these people from Spectrum called you, did you have your moment of like, oh, mama, I made it? I'm good.
Well, yeah, I was excited. Like, we had a sis moment because you're Black, I'm Black.
Yeah.
Girl, thank you, girl. Look.
Yes.
She was able to connect, that Black connection.
Yeah.
So, I was really excited, and she was excited for me. And so it was really like, we had a little watch party, quarantine watch party. And
that's cool.
Spectrum run all day, so that's
right.
all TV that day was. Don't change the channel. Now you don't miss it. Let it rotate. Let it keep going. And then your parents be so proud. Mom was Porsha on Spectrum today. You better watch the news.
That's right.
And then she was up at like 6, like this. I got it. And then she started sending it to people. It was.
Hey, that's
cool. I mean,
that's word of mouth right there.
For real.
Like, legit.
If ain't nobody gonna tell nobody, your mama gonna tell.
Hello.
Yeah.
So it was cool, but I was a little disappointed at the way they presented it. But it was still a blessing.
Okay, so if you could go back and change anything about your journey in business, what would you change?
Or if you would change it.
Yeah.
I really can't think of anything I would change. I love my logo. I love everything about what l.i.t. stands for. I wouldn't change anything. I would not. Within myself as a business owner, there's some things I would change, but the business itself, no. I think it's a great platform for Black authors. A great platform for children to be able to access these books to represent who they are, where they come from, and where they're able to go. It's a great platform for people to be able to place these books in their homes, in their classrooms, in their children's doctor offices, so that these books are able to connect with kids. Because you go to the doctor's office, do you see Black children's books? I've seen several white people books. Ooh, books with white people in them.
Right.
You know what I meant?
No, that's,
yeah. We know what you mean. Yeah. It's honest conversation, because it's like, because we don't see those things a lot, even with magazines. When you go into a lot of doctors' offices, you don't see a lot of any other ethnicity. Right. You would. It's very rare that you will see, I don't know, what's one, ebony or, something like that. like Jet magazine, something like that.
Right.
You know, you don't really see those publications in a lot of these places, and it's just weird, you know.
It's not weird. It's the reality. They don't want us to see ourselves.
Yeah.
They don't want their representation to be there. Otherwise, it would. Because the thing I've realized, can you turn it to a level 1? You're at a level 5. Thank you.
I've learned these
levels
techniques
together. The teacher and me. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. He needs to get a level 0 because. But yeah, it's not there, and yeah, they don't want they don't want the representation to be there. But what I've also learned is that now more than ever, there's way more books of color or books that represent black children, black people, than there were when I was younger. Because I've had other people who've interviewed me and stuff ask like, "What was your favorite book when you was younger? That's a book of color." I'm like, Junie B. Jones, and she's white. I love Junie B. Jones books, but she ain't black.
Right.
So yeah, but now, do y'all have any black books that y'all loved when y'all was little?
I don't have any. I was in love with the Little Mermaid, and she's clearly not black.
Bearstein Bears, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nothing. I don't have not one.
All I know is like Dr. Seuss and those Disney books that, you know, the little books they did.
And Disney has a horrible representation too. They just started and they still not doing the best job that they can do. So you think about it, we really didn't have access.
Yeah.
Huh?
Like, that was another thing, is that a lot of these books that are out, they're not really educational.
Right.
Like, especially if it's gonna be for a kid, like it's all cool to have the stories and things like that, but to have the education piece in there too, like that to me is dope. Because if you can intertwine the story with something that's gonna educate the child about something that, I don't know, it could be educating them about ethnicity, you know, race, or like
the books that she has. You had some books in there about like the curly coils of your hair and all that. Like it teaches about like to love your hair. Your hair may not look like Sally, so it's okay that your hair is curly and coily. Like, love that. It's okay.
Yeah. But now they have more books that represent us. It's just they're not accessible. Like if you want the books, they might be at the library, but it's not as many. Because that's why I used to go to research books, and they're there, but you really got to look through the shelves to find it in order to be able to find those books. Yeah. They're not accessible. They're not in our classrooms. I have my own classroom. I probably have about 10 black books in my classroom library before I place my own books in the library. It's just they're there, especially now. The black children's books and black chapter books are there, and there's so many more black authors and illustrators. It's just the access to them because they're available. You gotta go on Amazon. They're not gonna have it in most of your school libraries. Maybe a few, but not a lot. Or maybe even in your local libraries. They're not gonna have a lot of those. I don't know why it's like that, but they're there though.
It kind of goes into, which is kind of a sidebar conversation of the fact of, like, when you have black-owned businesses versus other businesses, you see what I'm saying? Like, the support that the black-owned businesses get versus other businesses is kind of like, it's not there. Yeah. And it's not that, I feel like it's kind of correlating with what she's saying about the accessibility, because like you'll go do research about anything, but when it goes to looking at a black-owned business, or like whether it's a restaurant, or like she was talking about books or whatever, it's not a whole lot of people that will like do the research specific to those things. Right. And I feel like it's partially our fault, and the other half goes to the fact of it not being as accessible to us to have these resources, or to find them rather.
Yeah, everybody's more about convenience these days. Not
Yeah.
we lazy. We don't want to look up. I mean, now people are doing it like, I know yesterday I was looking for a black owned tire shop. Found it through asking around, but we lazy, especially if we've been so used to the norm of going to, you know, a non-black business. We're gonna fall back on, maybe because we have loyalty within them and we know that they're gonna do a good job, or it's just they're there. I don't got time to look and research and ask questions. I got to get this done now. So I mean, I think we're starting to do a better job, but is this going to last? Are we going to continue to support versus complaining? Because I know when we do support, we complain. And I do know there's areas of improvement for some people, and that's where you give your feedback. But yeah, we definitely do have access to Black bookstores. They're around as well. We have one in Austin, Black Pearl Books. It's not a brick and mortar store. It's she's usually at vendor shops and stuff, or vendor markets, but she's available as well. I don't know if there's another one, but there's a Black bookstore in New York, which is really dope, and they're around. We just have to research them and go and support. But once again, we like convenience and we're lazy. Not Black people in general are lazy, but people period are lazy. We want stuff at our fingertips. So it just takes a little bit of effort. Just a tad bit.
So what would you tell somebody who wants to start a business, but they don't know where to start or what to do?
The advice that I'm going to give is what I should also take in myself, because I'm still trying to do some of the to-do list things. I'm working on that. Checking off lists, striking it out. But I would say the first thing I was big on is, like, I'm still big on it, but writing it down. Like, write it down. What is it that you want to do? Write it down. Write down, what you want to provide in your business, or what kind of business you're going to have. One of my little cousins, she wants to start a business. And just simply from, like, her name, I was like, write down a few names, like a lot of names that you might want your business to be, because that's what I did. Wrote down a bunch of different potential business names, maybe took one of the words from another business, put it together with the other one, and just played around with it until I figured out what fit for what I was wanting my brand to be. Doing your research. Google is amazing. Do your research on, like, your business. If you want to start a cupcake business, research what goes into starting a cupcake business. What do you need? How do you brand yourself when it comes to creating a cupcake business, or whatever the case may be? But research is key. Once again, look into your competitors, or those who are doing what you aspire to do. Like, for me, like I said, those 2 book box, Black book boxes. There's one, the Just Like Me book box. Use somebody as a example of what you want to be or aspire to be. That doesn't hurt. We learn from each other. So follow somebody that is doing what you want to do, to help you have a blueprint of what you need to do in order to build your business or your brand. You have to stay consistent. Stay consistent, stay visible, make everything legal, get your LLC. I just learned today, because I just filed my business account today for l.i.t.kids, and I learned today that an EIN number is free, which is the employee identification number. That's free. People don't know that. It sounds like you got to pay for that. Yep. But it's free once you file your LLC or whatever kind of type of business that you want. But yeah, make your business legal, like file it. But with that, you also have to research your name, make sure ain't nobody got your name. And then from there, you can also start building business credit. I think I'm going a little too far, but these are things that they're not going to teach you in school. And unfortunately, in some households, your parents don't know either. So you're not going to learn from them. You have to do your research, or start to network and become be a member in circles of people that are already doing what you want to do. Like I know when I started just looking more into books, authors and illustrators, I started joining a lot of Facebook groups with like Black authors, Black illustrators, women in books, Black Girl Book Club, like all of these different groups amongst Instagram and Facebook. And in those groups, you can ask tons of questions and somebody's going to answer it. Also within those groups, you're gonna find people that can mentor you. Once your business is going, you have people that are supporting you. People out of those groups have bought my book box. Just type of support. So getting in those networks, if COVID wasn't around, I would say meetups. Like you're aspiring to be an author, go to some author meetups, and things like that. So you can rub elbows and get some gems from some people who have already been doing it. Yeah, and be kind to yourself. I have to tell, it's okay. I have to tell myself that all the time, like be kind to yourself. And throughout this quarantine, I've also learned manifesting what you want. Like, don't say, I'm gonna try to learn how to make a nice video.
Right.
No, I am gonna learn how to make videos. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be able to do a video, by December. Manifest that, write it down. Like, I want to have my LLC by this time or whatever. The power of manifestation is real. It really, really, really does work. And your tongue is a powerful thing. So when you're speaking on yourself, your business, your goals, you have to be intentional. So yeah. What else? Yeah. Make sure it's something that's fun and that you really enjoy, and you're not just doing it just because you want to say you started a business, because it's going to fail.
Yeah.
All right. It's not gonna go well. It's not gonna do too well. Or it may do well for a while, but it's not gonna be a business that's gonna last too long.
Right.
So make sure it's something that you're passionate about. And also make sure that you're credible. Yeah, make sure you're credible, meaning like you research and get the knowledge that you need. Like if you're talking about financial literacy, you need to know about financial literacy. Like you need to do your due diligence and research and studying, and in order to really be able to provide and serve within the business that you claim that you want to start. And everybody, you can learn anything. We have hella MUAs and they YouTubers.
Yeah.
The University of YouTube. So it's out there. So yeah, those are some of my tips, but definitely stay consistent, and surround yourself with like-minded people.
Yeah, big time.
And speak with intention.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I feel like namaste.
Right.
But yeah.
So we're gonna ask this last question, and this last question is our golden question. And honestly, you really touched on it earlier, but everybody gets the question. How important is it to you to have your support circle of family or friends or your community, your Facebook group? Like, how important was that for you, or is it to you as a business owner?
For me personally, as a business owner, it was everything. Like without, for one, my family and friends, my business wouldn't have taken off the way that it did, because they were the ones sharing posts, tagging people, investing in my business. Because I also asked for people to, support me by just give me $1.
Yes.
$1 to support me, please. And I got like $50 from one person, $20 here, $15. Like, yeah. So, and that was based off of Facebook. Like my family and friends, everybody doesn't have a good support system when it comes to your family and friends. So you cannot always depend on it as a business owner. But for me personally, my family, my friends, they lit, okay? They support. And without them, it would not have been as successful as it is now, to where I can say my support stems way outside of my family and friends. I got people reposted, shouting me out. I have never seen in my life. I don't know them, but they know me, and even little messages they send and just reviews and feedback on my business, or just loving what I'm doing to, impact our youth. Yeah. So I will say it's important, but for everybody, it isn't, because some of your family and friends aren't going to support you. And I have good friends that still haven't, supported me. And I'm just like, at this point, and I guess with my age, it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't think they don't love me, or, they not my friend no more. It's just, they're not supporting in that area of my life. Yeah. And I've also learned that support doesn't come with likes on posts and sharing your post or any of that. Support comes from maybe pep talks. Support comes from maybe you investing a couple of dollars. Support comes from you picking me up when I'm saying I'm done with this. I'm done with this shit. I don't want to do it. Like, it just doesn't come from what you visibly see. Like, support comes in so many different ways. And I feel like a lot of people hone in on support is like, you didn't share my post, you ain't buy my product. And no, that's not the only way you can support. Like, there's several ways. I told my friend about your business and they bought a book or whatever. Like, you don't know it, but I've been supporting you. So I learned, not to be so like invested in if you're supporting or you supported me, because also once your business has taken off and you become visible to several people, once again, your family is like this, your family and friends like this, and you got all these other people that have fell in love with your product or your service and everything. And so now it's not only about them, because as a business owner, that's not how you're going to thrive anyway. Right. You only have some people have a large family, but everybody doesn't. So you can't just, me too. But you just can't bank on that to make your business what it is. Yeah, my family lit though. And my friends. They're it.
Well, dope.
All the way.
Well, can you share with the audience where they can find you at, and any other things that you would like to share with them at this moment?
Sure. So, as I said at the beginning of the segment, we are in our 4th month with our IME book box, which is available now, which is all about your child embracing who they are, where they come from, and where they're destined to go, and just providing opportunity for you to build on their self-confidence and their self-love. So that's available to order. You can go to my website. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
www.l.i.t.kidsbooks.com. You see that product placement?
Yeah.
It's important for you. Like, it took me forever to get these boxes together, because when you get this box, or you just holding it walking down the street and somebody see that, oh, let me go to Instagram and look. Honey, I want you to have access, even if you don't. I just want you to be able to. So, but yeah, you can purchase at l.i.t.kidsbooks.com. You can also follow us at l.i.t.kids on Instagram as well as Facebook. Oh, so you can subscribe to our email list so you can stay in the know of what's going on. We have so many things that are coming up and happening. One of those things is that we have a read aloud every Thursday. Well, I think that's all for now. Yeah, that's all for now. Oh, we have our Lit Kid tees too. They're in the house. They're in the closet. I should have got them out. But this is one of my tees, the I Am a Lit Learner t-shirt. But I launched the B is for Black Lives Matter tees, which is pretty popular right now. And then some other statement tees that are for our kids to make some bold statements. And adults are able to order them too. You just got to put a little note in there so I know that you want an adult size. But yeah, we got t-shirts too.
That's dope. Well, we love it. Hey, I'm all for it.
Yes.
Well, thank you again for taking the time out of your day to have this conversation with us. It's another straight up conversation. And we just appreciate the audience for tuning in. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share this content, because there may be some people out there that may want to hear this, and it can help them.
And this is all like Porsha has, also, like she said, she has all the information you need for your children as far as just learning and reading. It's summertime. Your children should still read. Come on.
Yeah,
it's
that summer slide.
Yes.
It ain't even no summer slide now because we've been sliding since
Right.
February.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't been in the classroom. It's
Yes.
some kids ain't been learning since March 1st, whenever the school goes down. So
Yep.
you should be invested, and it doesn't seem like kids are going back to school anytime soon, or they have
Right.
an option. But yeah, if you don't invest in your kids' education, especially right now, then they're going to suffer later.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And everybody keep in mind, like we've said throughout this video, the information in the books that she has, they are not just for Black children. It is for every child. Everybody has something in common. So yes, the books have Black children on them and in them, but it is not just for Black children. Everybody needs education. Okay.
Yes. And we do feature other characters of color too.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's dope because just the fact that we're opening up this dialogue to even talk about this so that people can see that we're more alike than we are different.
Right.
And how we can engage from one another and keep this conversation going so that we can create a better world for ourselves and for our kids and future generations. So we love it. So we appreciate you once again. Love you guys at ET Squad. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll see you guys on the next video.
Peace.